chapter 2, verse 26. अथ चैनं नित्यजातम् अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतम् तथापि त्वं महाबाहो तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि. O mighty armed, even if you suppose this soul is constantly undergoing birth and death, even then you should not grieve over it. Athachainam nityajato. Here again, Bhagwan is discussing about that whatever we think or whatever you think, that the body dies, not the Atma, not the soul. And Bhagwan is trying to explain with different ways. Atha chainam nityajatam nityam va manyase mrutam tathapi tvam mahabaho naivam shochitum arhashi. Bhagwan Krishna says, such as the term atha cha and another term is manyase, means that is a fact that the soul is unborn. Najayate mriyate va kadashin. Okay. Yet, if you accept the contrary, you should not grieve. Okay. Very clearly Bhagwan has mentioned. Okay. That even if you believe that, okay, still you should not grieve, because one who is born is bound to die. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Punarapi means all the time, repeatedly. The birth and death, birth and death. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. So, because one who is born is bound to die, and one who dies is bound to be reborn. Simple, very clear. None can escape this eternal rule. So, Bhagavan has clearly mentioned that's a rule. That's a rule. The person born, that means he is going to die. Die, we have to take birth again. Of course, according to his or her karma. But Bhagavan has very clearly mentioned that it's an eternal rule. Eternal rule. A seed sown in the earth assumes different shapes. Okay? It can be the shape of sprout, plant, tree, and then it dries up and decays. As we were discussing about that, jayate, vardhate, abhakshiyate, we have discussed that few weeks back. Okay, so here also in the seed, once you put in the earth, it's a different stages: sprout, plant, tree, but ultimately it's going to die. The fact is that the seed undergoes change every moment. The same thing applies to us also. Okay? Of course, as the government has, for an example, declared that at the age of 18 he or she will be declared, that's young, okay, and then he or she will allow to vote, for an example, okay. I'm not giving another day, example. But for an example, so 18th of October, the person is going to complete 18 years, right? So what was there on the 17th? And what change all of a sudden came? No, it's a constant process. It's a constant process. I'm 60, I'm old. No, 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 no. So at the age of 59 year, 11 months and 25 days, what? No, it's a constant process. Yeah, we may not feel it. No, I must use the word. We may not notice it. We feel it. We may not notice it. Okay, but it's a process. It's a process. Okay, so if this seed has remained the same even for a moment, how had it passed different stages up to the last one of its drying up? It's a process. One has to go through it. One has to go through it. There is, and that's why Bhagavan has told there is absolutely no escape. Sometimes when we discuss with people and for the argument's sake, it's fine. Ah, man, no, no, no. It's just a number. Whether you 42 or 62 or 82. Yeah, it is a number, but you can't escape. One has to accept the reality that we are getting old. Right. આને કારા કરવાથી કંઈ નહીં થાય. So yeah, and then I mean all sugar coated argument, young by heart, fine, good. But the bottom line is that one must not escape. That is the whole idea. So it gave up its prior form, it is its death, and it assumes a new shape. Construction and destruction, it's always there, always there. If you look at to the world, or if you look at to our life or the body, it's always there. It's every moment, every moment. It is its birth, thus it passes through birth and death. As I told you earlier, it's a cycle. It goes, come back, goes, come back. It's like a roller coaster. When you're on top, but when we're on top, we have to prepare ourselves that within the next moment we are going down. And if we are down, okay, we mustn't grieve because we're going to go up. Birth and death. It's always there. Similarly, this body also undergoes a change every moment. Every moment, Bhagavan has told, every moment. We may not notice. That's a different story. That's a different thing. But its change it's a constant change. Constant change. Sperm gets mixed with ovum and the mixture grows into baby which is born. With its birth, the process of death starts. The process of death, it starts from the birth time. From birth time. We say, I mean, 80 years, at the age of 80 years, he died peacefully. Yeah, that's fine, but the process started from the day one. Or you can even say moment one, not day one, moment one. So, with its birth, the process starts, which culminates in death. Ultimately, person is going to die. Thus, this body undergoes a continuous change. It's born, it decays and dies. Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna says to Arjuna that even if he holds the view that the soul undergoes birth and death like a body, there is still no ground for grieving. Because suppose if you think that, okay, again, as Bhagavan said, argument sake, for the argument's sake, okay, Atma is going to die. Even is going to die, he's going to take birth again. Simple. And that's why, therefore, you must not grieve. Okay. Verse 27. जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युर् जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युर् ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्माद् परिहार्येऽर्थे तस्माद् परिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. Death is sure of him who is born. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur. And rebirth is assured of him who is dead. Arjun, you should not therefore grieve over the inevitable. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha. According to the previous verse which we have tried to understand. Okay. I'm not using the word we understood. We have tried to understand. So according to the previous verse, if the soul is regarded as constantly taking birth and constantly dying, one should not grieve because death is sure of him who is born. And rebirth is assured of him who is dead. I have shared this the story about Ma Parvati, but it's appropriate here. That's why I'm just sharing it again. Once I start, you will recollect that. Okay. And once the January start, now the Shivratri, the first function is Shivratri, according to our new English New Year. So Parvati ji was observing very strong penance, tap. And of course, when this kind of penance someone observes, the Rishi, the sage, or the Bhagwan, definitely would like to test him or her, how firm his or her decision is, or the conviction is, or the resolution is. And she was merely surviving on the leaves of the trees in the jungle. So Rishi Narad ji came and asked her, why are you taking that much trouble? What's that in your mind? So Parvati ji says, Parvati ji answered, I want Bhagwan Shivji as my husband in my life. So I want to get married with Bhagwan Shivji. Naradji deliberately started criticizing Shivji. Oh, that Shivji who doesn't have home even and stays in crematorium, cemetery. Parvatiji say, yeah, oh, that Shivji. As an ornament, he puts the serpent and put that ashes and everything. Parvatiji says, yeah, oh, that's Shivji. Who doesn't know about his father and mother? Who doesn't know about his birth and say, yeah. So Naradji's whole idea was to make her unstable, to shake. And then he started going back. Parvatiji says, wait. Whatever you are told about Shivji, but the third thing what you told, I like that too much. I really like, I'm touched with that. Naraji says, what? See, isn't you told that that Shivji who has no father, mother, who doesn't know about his birth? Naraji says, yes. So that's why I want to marry. Yes, Parvati says that who does not have birth will not die. And that's why, that's the real reason that I want to get married. But that's for the Shivji. Here, what it says, who is born, definitely going to have the birth again, right? Tasmad apariharyarthe natvam shoshitum arhashe. The cycle of birth and death has been going on from time immemorial and will continue up to eternity. Therefore, you should not lament. You should not lament over the inevitable, because this is going to happen, and this is not in your hand. You have to accept it. These sons of Dhritarashtra, the Bhishma, the Drona, etc., who are born will surely die. Because the question, or not the question, you can say even the dilemma in Arjun's mind that, oh, but in front of me, all my relatives. Forget about the relatives, but in front of me, there is a Bhishma, my great great grandfather. There is a Drona, who is my teacher. My cousins. So that's why Bhagavan says, these sons of Dhritarashtra or the Bhishma, whom you consider your great great grandfather, or the Drona, whom you consider and respect and regard as your teacher, and that is really teacher, no doubt about it, who are born, means they all born. That means surely they're going to die. You cannot save them. And after death, they will certainly take rebirth. You cannot stop even. So, why should you grieve? As the sun has risen, it will certainly set. And if it is set, it will definitely arise. Morning and evening, dawn and dusk is there. This is an inevitable fact which is known to all. which is known to all means which is known to us also. Unfortunately, we do not want to accept it, which is known to all. Therefore, none grieves over the setting of the sun. It implies that one should not grieve over the death of anybody. Of anybody. Whatever the Bhagavan Krishna has stated in these two verses, right? This 26 and 27 in these two verses is not God's real theory. By the expression of author, the Bhagavan has put forth the argument of the people who identify themselves with the body. This is not correct principle. In no case Arjun should grieve. To bring home this point to him, Bhagavan Krishna is explained from that angle also. In these two verses, Bhagavan Krishna says that all the worldly things, including the bodies, because body also worldly thing, including the bodies, undergo change from one form to another. Abandoning the first form is called death, and change to the second form is called birth. One should not grieve over this cycle because it inevitably goes on. A man is grieved if a dear one dies or there is loss of money. Similarly, we are grieved when we think about the future. If the wife dies, what will happen? If the son dies, what will happen? Etc. We are grieved and worried because we don't attach importance to discrimination, changes in the world and in circumstances are inevitable. That is more important. Inevitable. It's not in your hand. If circumstances don't change, how will the cycle of the world continue? How will a person pass from boyhood to youth? How will a fool become learned? How will a peasant become healthy? How will a seed turn into tree? Without change, the world will become like a static thing. In fact, only a mortal dies, and immortal never dies. It is everyone's obvious experience that after death the body remains lying. But the self, Atma, the owner of the body, transmigrates. If importance is attached to this experience, there cannot be any worry of grief at the death of. Then the commentator of this particular is Swami Ram Sukdas ji, give the example of about Bali, and that's from the Ramayana. Bhagwan Ram draws Tara's attention toward this experience. Bali was Tara's husband. Okay. Now, in the next verse, Bhagavan Krishna mentioned the simple law of nature about birth and death. Right? So, verse 28. Avyaktadeeni bhutani अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना तत्र का परिदेवना. O Bharat, O Arjun, all beings were imperceptible before they were born and will become so again when they are dead. They are perceptible only in the intermediate stage. Why then the lamentation? Right. Avyaktadini bhutani. All the beings seen now were not previous before, they were not perceived before birth. Avyakta nidhananyeva. These beings will also not be perceived after death. Vyakta madhyani. All these beings are manifest in the interim. So that in the interim we can consider as present. Okay. Yesterday was past. Tomorrow is future. What is there? That's present now. Okay. So are manifest in the interim after birth and before death. Their bodies were non-existent before birth and will remain non-existent after death. Just like a dream. Yeah. During life they seem to exist, but actually they are going into non-existence every moment. This word dream is very, very important. When we are sleeping, have some dream, we really feel that it's real, it's actual. And then the eye opens, nothing is there. Absolutely nothing is there. Tatra ka paridevana. It is the principle that the thing which does not exist either before or after has no real existence in its mid state too. Therefore, these bodies which were unmanifest in their origin and will be unmanifest in their end are unmanifest even now. Bhagwan has taken to the different level, unmanifest even now. Though they, and then what he has said, Bhagwan has said, though they seem visible. Seem visible. Seem visible means it looks that it's visible, but it's not, Bhagwan wants to say. They seem visible, but the soul existed in the past, exists now, and will also exist in future. So there is no point in lamenting for both this situation. It's basically these are the words all about the Atma, the soul. Because soul was there, soul is there, soul will be there. Will be there. A thing which does not exist at the beginning and at the end has never existence, while a thing which exists at the beginning and at the end ever exists. Ever exists. The thing which did not exist before origin and will not remain after annihilation does not exist in the middle too. It is merely an imagination, merely that which never exists, asat. Asat means unreal. And the entity which ever exists is sat, real. The reality, we have our eternal disunion with the unreal, while with the real we have our eternal union. We have our eternal union. Yeah. Right. On this note, we go into the discussion on Gita. Maybe we going to stop for a while, okay? Of course, we'll be waiting next week, right? In this talk, whatever you like, credit goes to all the saints, all the scripture, all the book, whatever I have read, I have heard, I have studied. And yes, our main reference book for the Geeta class is Swami Ram Sukdas Ji's commentary on the Gita. Okay, we will recite the 73rd verse of 18th chapter. That's a prayer of Arjun, you can say. Should be the prayer for all of us. And after that, we will be singing Arti. But between that, Nashto Moha and Arti, we will be discussing something else. Okay? Nashto Moha Smrutiralabdha Tat Prasadan Mayachyuta Sthitosme Gata Sandeha Karishyē Vachanam Tava Karishyē Vachanam Tava